you so much for joining me here again on this wonderful day. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate the time that you're sharing here with me, and I appreciate the conversations we're still to have. My intention slash topic or thing, however you want to call it, that I want to bring to the stream today is waiting. Waiting. Specifically, this eternal waiting that we kind of practice that puts us in a state of anticipation for all of it, but we never actually get to reach it. You know, we eat things that are immaterial. Maybe that would be another way to say it. For instance, we find ourselves in a society right now where we're eating numbers. You know, we're just gobbling up numbers, be it through social media likes, be it through actual money, be it through some sort of game and high scores that we're reaching. We're eating numbers more so than ever. Naren, thank you for joining me, my friend. It's nice to have you here, as it is to have you, Melita, my beloved friend. Thank you so much. While I get into the casual rants, I'm gonna pack myself a little bowl. I've been breaking up these little, I'm not exactly sure what you're supposed to call it, nuggets. There's little individual houses. I've been breaking them off and then smoking them. I don't know why, but I feel more meticulous if I do it this way. Like each and every little nugget of weed goes into this little bowl of an intention. Waiting. You know, why is it we're constantly waiting for something? Like I had a conversation with my mom today. She came through to the city and there was just, good conversations had. So many good conversations had. The conversations I've been having with Christian, having lost his mom this year, has illuminated my love for my mom even more. And I appreciate it so much. And at the same time, I almost feel like I'm going to be excessive in my appreciation of my mother. But I realize that there is only a certain amount of time that we have left with one another. And spending that time waiting for things to be differently, I'm thinking about how much time it has stolen from me. More than I'd like to calculate. Good morning, Ninja is here as well. Good morning, Mel family. Love and light to all. Love and light to you. Old weed? I mean, it's not that old. How old is it? I harvested it in May of last year. Was it May? It was May of this year. So not that old, a few months. But yeah, it's definitely not brand spanking new off the plant. OCD weed. Maybe that makes a little bit more sense. Not really. I don't know if OCD weed is a thing, but it sounds pretty nice. Eating numbers, yes, my favorite activity on this live, right? Melita, and we do it a lot, and we do it in a way where we're waiting to be satiated. So that's kind of like the whole trip that I'm coming to you friends with today is why do we continue eating things, waiting for them to satiate us? Why do we continue to eat numbers, waiting for those numbers to bring us some sort of satiety? Like believing that, oh, if I reach a certain amount of number, then I'm going to be satisfied, then I'm going to be, in quotation marks, full. I'm going to get defeated in the masculine way of saying it. But no, no, you don't. You're just here. You're going to be here nonetheless. I love a pie. I mean, you're gonna eat forever and forever and forever, Ninja. That sounds like a win to me, actually. Addiction, habit, paradise-like. Are you talking about the weed thing? OCD weed, addiction, habit. I'm guessing that's what you're saying right now. If you are saying that, let me know. Then we can continue our discourse. And hello to you, Heather. Thank you so much for sharing this space with me and joining me today. to wait for things. I think maybe there is a reason. Maybe the reason for it is anticipation can, in some ways, accentuate an experience. The fact that we are waiting for something allows that experience to be a little bit more enjoyable when we do eventually actually get to experience it. And as a result of that, maybe potentially subconscious understanding, maybe we do it to ourselves consciously. Maybe. Just maybe. There's a reason it's just called consumers in a capitalist. We're called consumers in a capitalist society. Yeah. Yeah. We technically eat everything. On a if you want to get a little bit weird about it, let's say breathing is a form of eating. You're eating air with your lungs. Listening is a form of eating. You're eating sound of your ears. There's no regurgitation happening from your ears, at least. You can actually eat things with your mouth, be it food. You're constantly eating things with your eyes. The saying "I'm eating with my eyes" or "I eat with my eyes" is definitely a real saying as well. So we're constantly consuming things. Unfortunately, what has happened is that has been commoditized. That consumer nature has been hijacked to try and form or pull some sort of resource from that. Like, oh, you're gonna consume things. Consume this. Give your money to me. It's gonna be fun. No, I was referring to food and whatnot. Oh, I get you. Thank you. Paradise, like fortunately, we are only in a state of calm here. So I wanted to make sure either way. maybe that would be our intention for today. If we're trying to overcome this want to get somewhere, our need to eat an X amount of numbers so that we can think we'll be satisfied within that day or satisfied eventually. I think the antidote to that is just being calm. Taking a second to breathe, to listen, to look, to smell, to think. Can your thoughts be seen as a sense as well? That's something that just came to my mind. Let's ponder that while we smoke for calm, friends. Oh, jeez. That is quite something. I was referring to food, the way you're picking it. I think he means. Oh, the OCD thing. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, actually, you're right. Actually. How many followers do you have? Forgotten my mantra. I don't actually remember. I don't think it's important. What really is important is the fact that you're here right now and sharing this space with me, and I appreciate you for that. Forgotten my mantra. Do you ever get to a place where you feel a little to slash no joy? What do you do to come back from that? I feel it, Heather. Like that's the first thing that came to my mind, and it feels like a little bit of a infuriating answer, if you will, because it doesn't really help in and of itself. But when I feel that way, when I feel super shitty, one of the things that I unfortunately do, and I wouldn't really recommend it, I tend to eat my feelings. And I was extremely overweight at one point in my life because of that as well, unfortunately. But now, at least in the way that I try to do it now, is just feeling, being literally completely present with those feelings of no joy or little joy. And just asking yourself as to why it is you're feeling that way. Are you feeling that way because of something that's happening in your life? Are you feeling that way because of something someone said? Are you feeling that way because of your situation, your current circumstances? Are you feeling that way because of a mistake that you made and something that you're beating yourself up of? Like, one of the most important things when you're feeling down, if you will, is to try at least if it's inside of yourself find whatever that is, you know. And even if you don't find what that is, at least you did a bunch of searching, you did a bunch of prodding, feeling into your own nature, your own pain. And as a result of that, I believe we grow our emotional intelligence just as to how to deal with ourselves. So, Heather, you're okay, my friend. You're loved, you're appreciated. Thank you for being willing to ask that question and share that feeling as well. We're here with you. All we can be is here. Like, you don't have to wait for anything to pass, even the unhappy feelings. If we're going to be in a state of waiting, like, oh, I'm unhappy, I can't wait until I'm happy again, then that waiting, that anticipation for something that's supposed to be different, is fundamentally what takes you out of the experience, is what robs you of the ability to learn from that, so that the next time that you deal with some sort of no joy type of circumstances, if you will, you have even more awareness within that situation to transcend it. Melty, hey STC, it's so nice to have you here, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Eating smoke with our lungs. It's a good time. Eating smoke with our lungs, Ninja, right? Like, I literally had a little flame source. I had plant material. This plant material just so happens to produce these trichomes. Just like, picture this with me. A plant, you know, let's just imagine green landscape. And then from this green landscape emerges something that looks like a fungus. But instead of it being just a normal fungus, it is transparent and is made of some sort of crystal material. And then it grows and it creates this entire like mushroom head slash bulbous tip, if you will. And then that tip starts to shift in color, taking on a more amber color, and that's like the perfect time to harvest your bud. And then you apply heat to that, and that stuff evaporates. And then we pull that through, in this case, water to cool down the smoke a little bit, eating it with our lungs. That smoke travels 1,400 miles of air pathways, gets absorbed into our lungs. We literally have one cell wall thick surrounding the outside world and our inside world. One cell wall thick. Being a human being, just doing ordinary things is fantastic. It's called depression. I don't think it's called depression. I think it's just part of the ebbs and flows of life. You know, I believe pretty much every single human being is bipolar in their own way. You know, we have these ons and offs, and that's okay. You know, I think labeling these things and then pretending that they need to be medicated or that they are fundamental problems creates more problems than the problem does, if that makes sense. Unless it's an actual chemical imbalance, yeah, that's also one of the things that's possible. But we have more and more ways to help with that as well, fortunately. Toasty, good morning, pretty you. It's nice to have you, man. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing, friend? How's the kids been? Like, I've been thinking about what it must be like to have Toasty as a teacher. Hmm. We'll be drinking sips of water for you, Toasty the teacher. Hmm. So instead of just imagining myself as a student in Toasty's class, I'm also looking up to Toasty as a role model, as this student that I'm imagining myself as. Posture apparently is important. Eye contact, sure, I get it. And respect. At least that's what I feel, Toasty. Please do point me in the right direction if I'm missing. Red Liquor, good morning, Mel. Hope you're well. Waking, bacon, coffee, just getting better. Thank you so much for joining me, for sharing the space with me. I hope your job search has been going well. Been thinking about you and sending you love. I hope that it's getting along well. I have bipolar disorder. There's a big difference. Paradise like, please. Maybe this is exactly why I had to say things that are, what's the word I'm looking for? Naive things, yes. Maybe I had to say naive things to get you to say what you're saying so that you can educate me. So please tell me what your experience with that has been like. As like, what have you learned? What have you discovered within yourself? Is there something that you can share with a normal person that could help us potentially? Hey, Nelson, coming with the old saying of votes. Boosh, boosh. Oh, thank you, thank you, Nelson. I appreciate your love, my brother. It's so nice to have you here as well. You must continue to be grateful and thankful for what you have to combat depression. I agree completely, completely read. And exercising, eating well, trying to get outside of your normal pattern, trying to socialize with other people. Yeah, taking care of yourself. If you're not doing these things for yourself, you're hardly standing a fighting chance against depression. All words are hard. Lamar, oh, you stop. No, I won't stop. God, you can't make me. Oh, I'm just lurking, but I want to say hello. Thank you for just screaming into the void. It's nice to have you here, Lane. Hello to you as well, brother. I've been thinking about you as well, man. Me and Christian have been making. I don't know if you would call it making anything. We've just been miming, rather, like pretending to listen to metal, headbang, like just being all around juvenile. And I think about you every time, man. Feel that energy, rocker energy. Nelson, good to see you. Thank you for that other. All seeing on both. I appreciate you. You too, dearie. Thank you for the silver smurf. It's been forever, friend. It's nice to have you here. Also, you're lurking. Oh, mommy. Goodness, it's been. Wow. Has it been almost like 2 months? No. 2 months? Maybe. It's nice to have you here, Mammy. I hope you've been well. Send the love to the kids and to your significant other. I'm guessing that the little plant that was growing outside is done and dusted by now. Curious about that one as well. How have you been, Mammy? How's the kids been? I hope you've been well at least. What? Turn your volume up. Mammy, sign language ASAP. The Illuminati sign looks lovely on your forehead. So, like, I mean, I'm just making the shape of an updo and, like, pointing to my forehead because that's the only eye that I want to be seeing through. Let's lean into it a little more. Yeah. Paramedic says, I've seen you a couple of times and I think you're an interesting cat. Thank you. I love that. I love that you say that, my friend. I appreciate your love. Thank you, genuinely. How long have you been on Reddit? How long have you been seeing me? And thank you for saying something for the first time. Would you be willing to share anything? What have you learned on your travels on planet Earth? If I had to say one thing that planet Earth has taught me, patience. Patience. And weirdly enough, this life goes by in a fraction. Christian! I think Christian's coming back. Lamar. Thank you, friend. Delighted to finally catch a live stream. I'll stay as long as I can. You're here right now, Mammy, and I appreciate that. Thank you. Meltivinati. Are you a religious or a spiritual? I consider myself spiritual. Hello, Christian! Welcome terug. Say something now. I think Christian had a long day. Are you alive? Barely, it seems. Christian always loves saying things, so it must be bad. Oh, nice. What the fuck? Immediate highway. That question, I think, is one of the most significant and fundamental ones we'll ask ourselves for the rest of our existence. It's just, what the fuck? Heyo! Oh, that's why he can't hear me. He's listening to jams. You want shot? How was your day, bro? Fuck! It's done. It's finally done. I hope it was good at least. You want me to pack you a ball? What? You want me to pack you a ball? Oh yeah, that would be nice. But like, not yours, isn't it, please? What do you mean? I don't like that bottle crap, bro. Oh, okay, bring me your pipe. South African. Are you religious or spiritual? I'm South African, friend. Thank you. He's paraplegic. I'm paraplegic, apparently, according to Christian. Thank you for the slides. One of my friends, I call him. And I'm scarred, it's been even longer, maybe like 4 months since the last time we saw you guys again. How have you been? It's been forever. Life is 10% what happens and 90% how you react to it. Paramedic. It really is that way. Because life is not going to stop happening. That unfortunately is not part of the options. But the way that you react to it or overreact to it can't stop. Realizing you're the one in power, always. You're the one in power. We just kind of give it away because we like to. Beggars can't be choosers. God, hit the weird bug. Do you hear that, Christian? What? Jovan is tuning you. Beggars can't be choosers. What's Jovan saying? Beggars can't be choosers. You have to hit the water bottle bong, dude. Here's the funny thing. Ain't no beggars here. We're all set. We have everything we need. Christian knows on some shady bottle. Christian knows he's God. What? He's just too modest about it. He's being like. Jovan is being coy. She's like, yeah, you know. Okay. Like she's my favorite fan of yours. Jovan, you just got the label of being Christian's favorite. I feel like there has to be these chimes. Like this sigil, Jovan's headshot with like beautiful little fractals all around, like being burned into a plaque or something. You see it? You see it, Jovan. Christian, your bowl has been packed. I sincerely hope so. Sincerely hope so. Good friend always offers the ball. Of course, you know it, Ninja. I needed some positive energy, and some positive energy is coming your ways, Khan. Thank you for joining us here, and for sharing your positivity with us as well. Gave a star. A good friend always over the ball. I'm not too bad, tired is all, but I'm doing okay, thank you. How are you? Sellotape? For packaging. It's almost Christmas, bro. It is almost Christmas. You're right, Christian. I'm actually going to get to spend Christmas with my family. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. And a pop you sideways. Excuse him. Sending good vibes and light. Thank you so much. Sending good vibes your way as well, my friend. Makes sense about each one of us being in control of how we react. Put the first one down the bar, Christian. He knows. I don't know if you have these in America. These are Maynard's wine gums. They're basically gelatin mixed with sugar, glucose syrup, water, and gelatin. They're so good. I know they're probably not good for me, but they're so good. Like you'd be able to catch me underneath a trap with a packet of those probably. It starts with knowing your triggers and spotting them. Oh, you can actually read that one for again. Scan says, it makes sense about each one of us being in control of how we react. I need a full lesson on that. Oh, Scan, we're actively learning, you know. I feel genuinely, we are constantly learning that lesson. The fact that we're the ones in control. And we just have these different differentiating layers of realizing that or accepting that as a truth. Bring the lighter terug, please.
No.
Please. Please bring, please. You know what? I'll calmly pack myself another bowl as well. You wanna get that cushion and sit here next to me?
Oh! I thought we were just gonna do side comments from the back here.
You're gonna have a voice.
Back comments from the side.
Come nowhere. Bro, like I've been joking about the fact that it's an all white bike background, and I'm just like dead, bro. I'm just like in another realm now. And now we have one of the other angels tuning in, coming from the void, infinitely white void.
You must be severely deluded if you think I'm one of the angels.
You just convinced me you're one of the angels, bro.
I sleep like a pig.
Your skin is so convincing.
My skin.
Your
What?
Your angel skin, dude. Your masquerade, your
Going
persona.
Put the gate down.
Put the gate down. It starts with knowing our triggers and spotting them. It starts with that, definitely. Like this friend is saying, she wants to have a full lesson on how how each of us are the ones in control of how we react.
Oh yeah, that is 100% true. So that's where I sort of disagreed on Estienne's previous statement about how we're all in control all the time. Yeah, yeah. But like the way we react to stuff, that's a different story.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's a whole different story.
That's the control we do have. We don't have control over the external environment. Because that's always going to be in flux. That's the one thing that fundamentally will continue to change. How we react can also change. But fortunately, we have the ability to learn from our mistakes and change for the better. I love wine gums. Ninja. I'm not sure if you're like copying or if you love wine gums as well. It might be Ninja. The fact that we can support each other from 20k miles away is a gift of in itself. We take it for granted. We do. Red clicker. We do, but we're still showing up for it. You know, we're still appreciating it when we are here. I just think we don't realize just how wild it actually is. Thousands of miles, Christian.
Nice catch.
Thank you. How about you, friends? You know, thousands of miles away. How's things in America? Like, unfortunately,
It's been a while since I've heard any news from America.
exactly. We here in South Africa only get snippets of news, and if we're getting news, it's usually bad news. Maybe good things have been happening, so they're just like quiet about it. Like, people don't care about the good stuff. Might as well, or maybe just even more bad stuff is happening and nobody's talking about it.
I don't know. I feel like it's going sideways a bit everywhere. There is no singular awesome country out there right now, except maybe Netherlands.
I mean, like some of the European countries are doing pretty well for themselves.
Let's move to Switzerland. To the
Switzerland,
Swiss Alps.
Bulgaria.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're rocking it. They're ruling the world.
Like how are they doing? Like how far are they from the other European
To
countries?
be completely honest, I have no fucking clue how it's doing currently. I'll tell you when I get back from going there.
How long ago were you there?
Oh, like 2 years, 3 years.
I
3
mean,
years ago, yeah.
how much can really change in...
In 3 years? Bruh. Bruh.
Bruh, how much has changed in Victoria in the last 3 years, realistically?
I don't know, more buildings in Menlyn.
Yeah, it's not like
The fuel price has spiked.
Yeah, we're getting pretty wrecked.
Food prices has been more load shedding.
Electronics are more expensive.
There's a lot more Uber access. Ordering stuff online is a lot more readily available.
It's become pretty much the same level of sophistication / integration as it was in China.
Yeah, but here it's cool because we have green and wild.
Mm-hmm. We have a lot of space.
lot of
We don't
wild.
have that many people in South Africa.
There's a lot of wild. I don't know, man. 60 million people is a shit ton.
Not of the surface area we have.
True, I guess so. Sparse in that.
And a
When
lot
I
of
went to the
population.
Drakensberg, I saw how a lot of this country is living, bro, and it's still like straight up from 1500s or some shit.
Yeah, like the
Pumping
wild
water
west.
from a borehole. I mean, a borehole.
It's not that many people that still live that way, dude. You know, the highest concentration of populations are actually city people, dude, at the moment.
You know what the little kids do when you walk past them or up to them? They come running to you and they're like, "Sweeties,
Asking
please
for
give me
candy."
sweeties." And
But I mean,
that's
that
the
was
only
the same-
phrase they know in English.
It was the same thing if you go to like Namibia or Mozambique as well, dude.
Oof. I don't like it. I don't like child poverty. It makes me sad.
Because you want to do something about that, but
No,
realistically,
but that's life for them.
there's
For
nothing
them,
you
that's
can do.
completely normal.
Exactly.
It's like a normal everyday thing. It's us city-dwelling people that come looking at this thing and we're like, "Oh my god,
they
need help.
Yeah, they need
they
help
need
right
help."
now.
When I don't really think they need help.
Dude, I mean,
Fine.
think about again, like you literally went into the mountains, nearly killed yourself hiking these things to go and see something that they just have access to.
Yeah, that they just live. in.
Yeah, they just like, this is my existence. What do you mean?
We were packing up in the morning, you know, covering ourselves up in layers because it's so freaking cold outside. I mean, there's literally a white layer of frost on my tent as I come out of it. It's like cracks as I open the zip and shit. And you know, I'm freezing my tits off. We're gonna go take a piss, and I look, and there's a sheep herder from Lesotho. But what do you call it? A native. Bro's covered in a blanket.
Single
Just
blanket.
a single blanket, bro. He's like, "What's up, brother?" He just smiled and waved. He couldn't speak the language or anything.
I mean, that's just again a show of our ability to adapt to be as human beings. To
Yeah, dude, and he just stood there and looked at us. Like, it must have been like TV for him. Madness.
I mean, the first thing that I think about when you say that is India, dude. In India, people will just look at you. There'll be no shame about it. If they see something they like looking at,
When you said India, I thought of that video you showed me this morning of
Mark Rebellington or something like that.
Get the fuck up.
It's like a music thing. Let's do that. I love winding up. It's the fact that we support each other. Is there an objective reality? What do you think?
What?
Is there an objective reality?
That's a fantastic question. Yes.
I feel yes for
Yes.
every single one of us, dude.
Absolutely, there is an objective reality. Making it commonly available for the rest of us to understand is difficult.
I believe.
I would, dude, like, after watching The Expanse, right, from yesterday's episodes, spoiler alert, I don't,
I think it's been out for a while now.
whatever, I guess so. I think it's wild how much we actually cannot measure in the universe. There is information that we currently don't have the tools to measure. How much do you think we don't know exists out there?
Most of it.
Okay, but that's terrifying. There could literally be aliens walking past us right now.
They could be
We
aliens
just don't
just in
inhabit the same kind
the
of
dimension.
density or
Yeah, exactly, dude.
or communication style or like, you
Frequency.
know, just because we're what we deduce life to be is
This.
consuming something and continuing to exist until you die. Like, that's kind of how we define something as a living being.
Mm.
Consumes energy and moves around. Like, that's what we think life is. There's other more scientific definitions, but I'm not going to get into it because I don't actually remember it.
We're just anything anywhere right now.
But just because we work off of flesh, bone, water, carbon, you know, and air,
We believe this is the only thing that
biomass and shit, doesn't mean there isn't like an air alien that lives trillions of times faster than you. Just happens to be moving through the space as you right now. Like, I can't even begin to try to imagine how
Lives-
possible that actually
It
is.
lives in a different set of infinity, dude. Again, And it's completely possible. Dude, that's literally the trippy part about it. And I think the thing is as well, this question of objective versus subjective reality for me, I think it's just that. It's technically you have now explained a subjective reality to me that can be the objective reality of another being.
I think what boggles my mind as well is that humans are very obsessed with looking, outwards of themselves, through the stars, through the galaxies, and all of that. Like inwards, within, it goes infinitely downwards as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's fucking terrifying, man. We're in a middle space right now that's technically
Do you know what's weirder than that,
called the
Christian?
now.
I was thinking about that exact thing today, and how it was for the longest time this duality where we had this infinite space external from us and then this infinite space internal to us. But now we're creating a third infinite space that's going to be the virtual reality. And how is that going to influence our balance as a human being?
Simulations and simulations and simulations and simulations. It's terrifying. That's quantum.
Is it terrifying?
It's terrifying. Of course it's freaking
Here we
terrifying.
are, dude, in it. Oh look.
I don't want to be a simulation.
Oh look,
bro.
hands. Oh
I wanna
look,
be
my
there.
freaking
No, this sucks.
my arms are
Have you watched
actuating into smaller arms right now.
Have you watched Free Guy?
What the fuck? Yeah, I have actually.
Dude, Free Guy is what I'm afraid of. I don't suddenly find out I'm in an actual fucking video game.
Well, do you honestly believe you would be an NPC?
Probably, yeah. When I think about it.
Weirdly enough, it's more likely that we're in a simulation than we're not, dude. Just if you look at the amount of progress we as human beings have made in the last 40 years, we either die or we make realities that are indistinguishable from this one. Those are the choices, dude. Think about it. That's literally the only two choices.
But what do you mean the only two choices to...
If we ever stop innovating,
Oh.
the only reason for us to potentially stop innovating as human beings would be our demise as a species. Otherwise,
I think it's just in our nature. We can't help but innovate. We want new shit. We constantly want new shit. We want new shit that makes our life better. So I really wouldn't be surprised if in the next 100 years we make something like Westworld. I wouldn't be surprised.
Westworld has some layers to it as well, though.
Yeah, at what point do you say that artificial intelligence has crossed over into the alive realm?
Dude, I feel as soon as it recognizes itself as an I, it is technically the same conscious awareness that we all are.
Can you imagine having a conversation with an AI?
I'm looking
and
forward
it's
to
so freaking convincing that it's a human?
Dude, technically, GP3, is it? Can already do that. It already passes the Turing test on text.
But with text.
Yeah.
But there's so much more.
Dude, but the fact that it can
Expressive.
do it with text is already impressive. You cannot distinguish you're talking to a robot. It just now needs to be very convincing of facial expressions and very convincing of voice
that's
and
hard.
inflection.
Do you know how hard
It's
it is?
hard, but it's not that far away.
It's like...
Especially with
I want to be there for the initial test. I would love that as a job, to be completely honest, is making human-like robots.
Christina, you're already doing it.
Yeah, I know. But like in code. Like you say, in text. I want to be physically as well as in code working with these things.
Dude,
I would...
the real thing is, it's all gonna be machine learning. If you're realistic about it. It's gonna be visual-based or audio-based machine learning as to how to talk and look like a human being. And then it's just going to run, it already has the right neural maps to talk like a human being. It's not that far away, dude. 5, maybe 10 years, we're going to be having conversations of actual artificially intelligent beings, dude. Not even just human beings. Something other than a human, something other than a computer. Ooh! What if them name themselves, dude, as a species? Huh? Oh goodness, I want to be there for that, dude. Man, it's a bit much. I'm gonna stop thinking about this and give myself some space. Man, I've moved missed a lot. Thank you for that question, Majestic Mover. You really moved us. Change. Like the soundboard and everything. Okay. Changing how we react to negative situations is an active choice. The way the Christian looks at me is acting on not or not to act can be beneficial. Everything doesn't need to be a fight, but knowing what's worth a fight is also important. Beautifully put, Ninja. Genuinely. Thank you for the energy, mover. Changing how we react is an active choice. I think I just read that, didn't I? Active choice, and acting on not acting is something that can benefit us. I think it's the same message which is sent twice in a fight. Also need to know what to wait for. There's an episode of Star Trek Voyager where 7 of 9 had a modification done to their visual processing. And she can see an alien species that exists outside of our visual spectrum. You know, Star Wars, again, playing with ideas and then making them a reality, potentially within this reality. They had little flip-up phones, I think in 1970s. Is it Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Trek.
Star Trek, and I think this is Star Trek as well, yeah, so. And it became a reality, dude, so who knows? Maybe we'll get like a little visor or something and just have chats with an alien that's sitting next to us, phasing out of this reality. Unless we see it with our little visor. I've thought that too about other life forms, perhaps existing in other dimensions of time and space. Whew, yeah, I mean, we've experienced things that almost give you a very lifelike interpretation of what that could be like as well. Like another being living in another time, in another space.
I was thinking about the amazing communication that mushroom colonies have, or fungus colonies rather.
The mycelium networks. Dude.
It's madness. Actual madness. How it communicates with itself.
Not just that it communicates, it connects to the roots of trees. And because that mycelium network has significant amount of surface area, it can absorb more moisture and nutrients from the soil than the tree would ever be able to, and it feeds those trees, dude.
Helps the trees?
Yeah,
Wow.
dude. They form these symbiotic relationships. Dude. A lot of them do.
Mm.
Man, fungi, dude. Literally a third type of life form. We have trees, then we have animals, then we have fungi, and we're more closely related to fungi than we are to plants. What does that say about us, dude? What does that say about us? Oh. Well, so long, Husarest. It's nice to see you again. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for the gamer alert. I appreciate your love, my friend. Listening to you guys is like listening to Elon Musk. No, not just the accent, but the open conversation and the depth.
That was a hell of a compliment.
A tip of the hat to you as well, Majestic Mover. You're the one that brought the great topic for us to conversate about, so thank you for co-creating with us. It's messed with me a bit. I always had a thought at the back of my mind, like, is there an alien examining me right now? With this mild anxiety / paranoia, I had to stop thinking about it so much, Lord. Unfortunately, Ninja,
yes.
we've had that conversation as well so many times. Instead of thinking of it as like you're being observed by an alien as a bipedal entity that like walks around and like looks at you, I just kind of think of it all as this observer, this eye, that you can consider alien as well.
You're in a petri dish right now. Earth is a petri dish.
Someone kicks the door down, starts dragging Christian out of the room.
That'd be great.
I'd enjoy that. Man, when your species name mimics a dial-up tone, what's your species name? I think that would be worse, dude. It's like, can you get something a little bit more legible? Please?
Can you imagine that shit sounds awesome to them?
Right.
But shit to us.
It's like...
And we unanimously as a species decide and agree we should kill them all because they're too annoying. They're fucking annoying. They're like pointless life forms that do nothing. They just screech. Slaughter. All of them. I'm just saying it's an option. You can keep getting annoyed. I'm gonna go on the killing party.
I'll just mute.
Mute what, bro?
No.
Oh, okay. Sure. With your magic ears.
Let them scream. I'm not going to kill anything. Star Trek again. The newest series, Discovery, uses the mycelium network to travel the universe in the blink of an eye, right? Oh man, this was a trip that me and Christian got into as well. Is the fact that if anything on our planet is an alien species, it is the mushrooms. Like, unequivocally.
And the octopuses.
And more the mushrooms, dude. And the crazy thing about mushrooms is they like throw spores, and those little spores land on soil. And then, for instance, if a big meteor hits our planet and ejects some of that spore-laden soil out into the universe, that soil can land on another planet and germinate, literally spawning life on another planet, dude. Through these little vehicles, genetic material vehicles that can actually travel space. It has resistance to exposure to UV, for instance, literally being in the vacuum of space.
Imagine dying and you find out that mushrooms are the angels. It's like they've been here all along.
They've been watching over us all along, we just haven't been inviting them over.
So fucking pissed.
Dude, I mean, like with the experience we had recently, think about how much that makes sense as well, dude. I mean, the crazy thing about it, the crazy thing about it's literally this little fungus that you can consume, and then after you consume this fungus, there is a communication happening. Be it you talking to yourself, if you want to interpret it that way, or this plant medicine communicating with you. It's surreal. It's surreal. The fact that that is something that's possible, oh yeah, eat this mushroom, it talks to you. What? What? What do you mean it talks to you? Yeah, if you eat enough of this mushroom and you're in complete darkness.
Never eat the mushroom, kids. Never eat the mushroom.
Never eat the mushroom. Mosquitoes too, says Mixed to Death. Mosquitoes being an alien species? Dude, the thing with mosquitoes as well is they just have so many steps that they overstep. One is they don't ask for consent. Dude. Mosquitoes. Two, they inject me with an anti-clotting agent so that they can continue drinking without my blood blocking. And three, they have to make noise. Why do they have to be audible, dude? Like, can't they just sneak up on me without me knowing that they're coming and then suck my blood and like covert ops? I have to hear them. And then suddenly silence, and then I know it's either landed somewhere or on my body. And then they have to make you itch.
All I imagine is how much mosquitoes love us, bro.
They must think we're like pretty much snacks,
yeah,
dude.
Like, they must fucking love us, bro.
Lick lips, dude.
They look at
as
you
you walk
and they're
in.
Like, that shit looks good. That shit looks real good, man.
Did you see that shit breathe warm air? Oh, this is too much. I'm sorry, friends. Get out of my brain. I was just thinking the mushrooms are talking to me. They're talking to us, Ninja. And like, we had that conversation. We're like, fucking mushrooms are talking to us. And the weird thing, they're talking to you even if you're not under the influence of them. That's the conversation we had. Like, they have this pull over humanity. I mean, the fact that there are potentially thousands of people on this planet that actively cultivate mushrooms, be they in the form of normal edible mushrooms, for culinary reasons, or other varieties, be they medicinal, like cordyceps or turkey tail or lion's mane or reishi, or be they psychedelic in nature, like our Cubensis friends. The mushrooms are literally bamboozling us into cultivating them. We're like, making billions of them, dude. Literal. But I actually want to remember the number. I think it's something like a teaspoon or like a cubic centimeter of soil. There's something like a mile's worth of mycelium network. It's wild, dude.
That makes no fucking sense to me.
It's brains. It's like brains.
Your brain.
It's literally like these little neurons growing through the soil. Get on my brain. Hey, dwarf! It's been forever, friend. So nice to have you here again. How have you been? It's the guru now. No. I was going to ask if it was winter there, and is that why you're inside? But I remembered you live in SA. It's not winter right now, dwarf. and I'm
It's
inside.
actually headed towards summer.
Yeah, so that's good. Well, I mean, we've been in summer pretty much.
No ways, bro. It's gonna get so much hotter than this.
That's also true. I've been at a friend's place. The voice is just coming from the void. I've been at his place. He's living on the third story. I have internet here. I'm gonna be inside for a while. How have you been, dwarf? And do you have anything else to ask? Where's the lighter?
The what?
The lighter?
The lighter.
The zakdrakie.
Die handaangedrevene vuuraansteker.
Goodness, I forgot that. That's like Afrikaans name for a lighter. That was it. A hand aangedreven vuuraansteker. That is the Afrikaans word for lighter, which basically directly translates into hand-driven fire starter. Hand aangedreven vuurmaker. Dankie, Christian.
Is
Die
fucking
hand
hot.
aangedreven vuurmaker. Like, dude, it's just a little bit, and it's bamboozling. Dude. It's again some of that CBD stuff. CBD stuff. Like, I'm getting actively bamboozled by that. Literally growing these
Dude, I
plants
took
tending
one-
to the.
I took one puff yesterday, thank you very much, and I had anxiety for the whole night. It's amazing. Unbelievable.
Like Toasty had this joke where I was basically smoking this exact strain, and I was like, I'm pretty convinced now by now that it's not CBD. And Toasty is like, oh yeah, a CBD strain, meanwhile 28% THC strain. And fortunately, I'm not the only one that has learned these lessons, Toasty. So it doesn't rain. It does rain sometimes. It just, I mean, it's been raining.
Once every 10 years.
It's been raining as of late a little bit, actually.
There's a big downpour once every decade. They call it the Great Watering. It's dude, remember the other day how the rain was going sideways? Literally, I've never seen that ever in my life.
It was almost at
I've
a
never seen
like
rain go
45
sideways.
degree angle, even like more.
No ways, dude. It was straight up like almost 90-degree angle.
I don't tell Toto. The Rains of Africa song. I wanted to start singing it, but I was like, I bless the rains of Africa.
Is that Toto?
Is it Toto?
Oh,
I think
okay,
it
that's
might be.
Toto.
Is it Toto Ninja? You're the one that's jested. I have been here.
Ninja from the Antwoord.
No, I hope not. I
That would
think
be so-
Ninja Banana 420 is his full username.
Could be.
Yeah, I have been here. How have you been? I've been well as well, thank you, Dwarf. It's coming to summer here as well, finally. I'm happy to hear that, Dwarf. Where do you stay in that case? Well, I haven't been on Reddit much for ages, but I am now. Thank you for choosing to spend some time here. I appreciate you. What? Relaxero. Relaxero.
Someone asked me to open the gate this morning, bro. I don't know what the hell is happening.
Relax, dude. My mom was over, actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
How is she?
She's good, dude. She brought my grandma through for her operation.
I see.
She's having a few skin things cut out. Hopefully all is well. She says hi, dude.
I say hi back.
Yeah, I said hi to her. I was actually looking at that. You already have a fucking axe. There's 2 axes in this house. For some reason. When you hear that laugh? Laugh of a crazy person. It's coming. Random ages. Who knows? Mosquitoes might save humanity. Currently trying to dodge the little vamps as we speak.
You should show the viewers this shit, dude. It's so fucking cool. Come on.
So, a friend of ours had a birthday day before yesterday. And we walk over to this little, what do you call it? Like,
It's like a little Chinese store.
little Chinese, like, present slash, like, kids'
Home
toys.
essentials.
Yeah, it's like a little store like that. They had, like, a whole section to birthday gifts or, like, decorations and stuff as well. And we're basically looking in this place for a gift for this friend of ours. And we walk past this knife aisle, and we stop, and Christian is looking at these knives. And I look at Christian looking at these knives, and I'm like, oh, you remind me of myself when I was, like, young. Just like from ages 6 to, like, 17. Like, I would always go to, or like in the mall or something, for something. like go to the little knife shop and go and look at all of the stuff they had there. And I see him looking at these knives, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this type of looking at the knives. You know, like yes, this is happening. And then he's like, buy him an axe, and I'm like, oh yeah, oh, buddy, we're gonna buy him an axe, sure. And he's like, no, I'm being serious. We're buying him an axe. I'm like, why? Why you want to pick up my axe? Because it's fucking cool. It's cool. So here we have it. The axe is here.
It's so cool.
It's so fucking cool. I would actually show them what I did. So first day I got him an axe, and I spent some time manual laboring. I made this for my friend. Like there's some messages, some little papers folded into hearts, and a bunch of marijuana joints. Yeah. I'm sure he's gonna be ecstatic as soon as we actually get to him again, whenever that's gonna be. Skip up a little bit. Ooh. I'm lurking. Only a couple of months more of this job and I'm out. I can't wait. Okay, Thirsty. I'm happy to hear that, man. We'll have a chat about that as well. How's the rest? Yes, damn it, Toto. I'm in Perth, Western Australia. Oh. Are you looking forward to summer in Australia? I thought it gets like devastatingly hot there, dwarf. So beach weather starting now. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. I live in Canada and my friend at work lived in Australia. He loved the winter there. Winter in warm places are pretty nice. The warm in the warm places not so much usually. Winter was horrible this year in India. Never seen anything like it. The winters were pretty cold here in South Africa as well this year, dwarf. I wonder if there's some sort of correlation with that. There might be. My friends, I appreciate you sharing this time and this space with me today, and thank you, genuinely. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. I look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, my friends.